Okay, first off, I need to change some things. So, here's the deal. I'm going to draw this thing. This is a screen grab from an animated music video, I guess is how I'll put it. For the song "Her" by Jake, and there's like 3 other people on it. I don't know. I just thought this was a cool scene. I feel like it's a cool video, and I, for some reason, have this song stuck in my head. So I'd like to do it. I'd like to draw something like this. Um, I'll probably change like hair color, might change eyes, since they're closed in this. Uh, but we're gonna do our best. Anyway, I gotta fix my fan because it's not actually pointing at me. All right, fan pointed. Nope, still too low. Okay. Still pretty. Okay. All right, I think we're good. So yeah, here's the deal. I'd like to draw this. Probably not gonna go well. How do I get this off my screen? Okay, so that's working. Um, I don't know what to, I don't know where to start. Here we go. Sketch. This is not working. It is what? It is on the right thing. There we go. I don't know what I'm using here, but it's not ideal. So let's switch to black. Let's clear. Let's switch to about 2-ish is fine. Okay. You know what? Let's also go full screen mode. Anyway, um, here we go. We're gonna do our best here. I have it here as well so that we can steal colors. We'll see how that works out for us. What I do want to say is we may not have art streams going forward. I got a couple of months, I think maybe a couple of weeks, where I should be able to do them on weekends. Um, but I think we're gonna probably end up stopping them, and it may unfortunately be indefinitely. I'm not sure yet. Uh, we'll see how it goes, I guess. Uh, not looking forward to it. Might be too small, huh? Do I switch to 4? What if I do that so I know where the center is? The thing is, this isn't a symmetrical face, so... What if I use the center line thing on a separate layer so I know? Nah, let's just go for it. Let's just send it. Okay. Not exactly ideal. But yeah, we may have to end the art streams. We're also probably gonna end, if you're in on the gaming stuff, we're probably gonna end our Icarus series. Um, I might just go do the last episode probably after this. I'm just not going to have time. Or maybe even the means to do it. So it's not ideal, but hey, what can you do? You know, you can't control the world, I guess. Unless you're rich, in which case you can. Well, congratulations. You've won. Not me. I didn't get to win. So we'll see how that ends up for us, though. With any luck, I'll just be able to keep going on, but where it's like weekends only, but probably not. So, just throwing that out there. It's been fun. I don't want to say I'll be giving up art, but I really don't know when I'm going to have a chance to do it again. This looks like a fucking acorn. So it's just like a matter of I'm not going to be able to do it, you know? But like I said, we'll see. I'll know more, I guess, in a month, probably. But it'll be what it'll be. And to be clear, we'll probably be at least temporarily, if not permanently, stopping gaming as well. Um, we're not sure yet, but just unaware of what I've got to do here, what I can do. Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like it's already kind of on the wide side. No, you know what? We should do it here. Does this work? Not really. Because now I have to do the other thing. Okay. I think what I might have to do is increase the size a bit. For a second. Okay. It's interesting how it feels too wide, but like I don't know how to solve this right now because it feels like it's going to get way, way, way too wide if I keep going. But then there's like not enough space for the hair, so. Why is it so fucking hot over here? Okay. I think maybe I come down a little more. Oh, brother. I think I might just go normal ears. Not really the biggest fan of elf ears, to be honest. Interesting. I feel like this head is like more rounded than you usually get. So this is one of those songs that, like I said, it's been stuck in my head. I don't know why. It's just kind of fun. Very melodic, I guess. But it's one of those ones where I was concerned this artist might be using AI. Apparently he's worked with it in the past. There's no indication of it being this, but it's like once you do, who's to say you won't again? Um, you know, if we go and look, I feel like there's no like major anomalies in any of the video, I don't think. Right? And it's like this kind of just seems like standard low poly grass as far as I can tell. Um, there's like a bunch of random ass weird like lines and stuff, but like I draw that, so I'm not 100% sold on anything. But it doesn't have like for me that super AI vibe. So I'm pretty sure like the art is good, the song seems to make sense because usually when it comes to AI songs, they're very like nondescript. It's basically like I think what happens is somebody says generate me a song about war or something, and it's like, you know, raging into battle with your flaming heart, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? This doesn't make any sense. This is such a shitty song. And then like you go to the description and it's like this song was made with AI. It's like, well, that explains why I've never heard of this person, or that explains why it sucks so much. I can't believe this asshole's using that now. I think I saw something about like some YouTuber announced he was cutting back on his videos because he was like emotionally invested in his AI or his LLMs, large language models. And it was like I can't explain how good it felt to be involved with them and whatnot. And honestly, this sounds kind of fucked up, and I don't mean to be rude, but that genuinely sounds like some sort of mental illness. Like, how do you get pleasure from talking to a machine like that? You know, like, and I guess I didn't watch the whole video or anything. I just watched like the clip and read about it. So to be fair, he might not have done anything. I guess I don't know what the fuck he was doing. My understanding though was it was just supposed to be like about him using it to script his videos. So it's like I don't know. I'm very confused. That's how I'll put it. I'm confused as hell, concerned as fuck. Not particularly a big fan of it. Um, I just don't know what's going on. I don't. Okay. It's a good thing for the alignment, huh? I think what's funny is I think there's like a grid or something I can use. Kind of. Why? Why is? Oh, it is working. Why is my screen or my cursor permanently hand job guy? Hand jobby boy. Okay, file. We're gonna save as. I think we might close and reopen here. I don't I don't really like that this is here. It's kind of bothering me. We're gonna quit. Be faster if I just press the hotkey I got on that one. I should probably put one over here. Okay. Okay, we have our normal little dot cursor back. So this says .png, which means, yep. That means I gotta go find it. File, open, oh, no, we have to go to open. Here we go. All right, back to it then. Okay. Keep in mind this is just a sketch, so we can definitely turn this into something hopefully a little better. We'll hit him with that. I don't know about the bow. I'm not sold on the bow. We can always add it or unadd it later, I guess. I'm not really sure what the deal is with this garment. What's weird to me is it doesn't add up, but like it doesn't seem far-fetched for a fantasy setting, so I think we're okay. God, it seems so big to me. Okay. All right. I was thinking about the thing is I just don't think I'm good enough to do this, but I was thinking about doing like VGen and just doing like a thing where people can commission me for now anyway, and there'll be no privacy. You'll get what you'll get, and it'll be it can't be too expensive because I'm not very good. But what I think it would be is I'll turn you into like a dinosaur, maybe of your choosing, or whatever I feel like you are. And like I said, here's the quality. You get what you get. It's not very good, right? That's like the best I can offer. I know that sounds stupid, but it's just like I feel like it's something that would maybe be the only way I can justify being able to stream art. If I'm basically I would be streaming drawing those. So like the benefit would be you could say, "Oh, I don't like that." And I could be like, "Okay, well, fuck you. You're not getting anything." No. Uh but like you could come and see the progress, but like obviously there would be no surprise or privacy if other people saw it too. So it's like I know some people will only really commission things to like surprise their viewers or whatever. Um like that's something I've thought about trying to do. The thing is, like I said, I don't really consider myself good enough to be doing that. Like, there's not a lot of skill here. I'm struggling with this. Fuck. It's just too big, huh? I think I have to shrink like all of this. I don't know how I'm gonna do that though. Weird that there's like no belt buckle, but the thing is, I know there's like wraps exist, so you could easily argue that it's supposed to be a wrap. All right, we're gonna risk it here. This is probably not gonna turn out very well. Should be able to just do that. Okay, so looking at it, I think my best bet might actually be to include the neck thing. The problem here is I need like a lot of accuracy, and that's really hard to do at this scale for me anyway, which again comes back to I don't think what I was just talking about would really work for me because I'm just not there. Okay. Think that's much better, but like not that much better, you know? Okay. All right. Part of the reason I wanted to do this was because it kind of gave like those Ishtola vibes. And I kind of really enjoyed drawing that one. So I was thinking like maybe we could draw something similar again. Man, that is just too big, huh? I feel like proportions are just really something I seem to struggle with. Okay. Doesn't seem too bad, right? Okay. Definitely gonna have to resize that. You know, maybe this is just a play. I feel like the resizing thing sucks, but maybe for me, that's just what I have to do right now. Okay. So let's select, deselect. How do we look? Very off. Okay. Select, deselect. Let's come in here. And then kind of come out through there. We can clean this up in a like a line art, so I'm not too worried about that. We'll see how it goes. I think part of the problem is this one feels maybe too wide right now. I know it's very wide in the original, but I don't necessarily need it that wide. This one should feel smaller. It's just, I'm not sure how much smaller. Because this one should be like a little further back visually. And I think the best way to show that would be if it, like I said, feels smaller. I should just have this song play on loop for this fucking stream. I don't like how good this hand is. What's crazy to me is this is almost certainly not AI with how like solid the this isn't like the greatest in the world, but it's like I don't feel like AI can do hands still very well, especially with like motion. I know this is a screen grab, but the actual thing has motion to it. Jesus Christ. Has motion to it, and their shit is just not gonna handle that. So the fact that these are pretty distinctly proper fingies gives me the vibe that the art here is almost certainly not AI. It's giving me pause here is how difficult this is. I should be able to clean this up on a non-sketch soon. Feel like my finger's a little fat. And I think I might need to take a second to just stand and not draw. Yeah, let's do that. Let's zoom out. Take stock. I feel like my hand is cramping a little. Call me Krampus. All right. Yeah. I feel like that hand on my end could be better. I know it's just the sketch phase, but I want it to at least be like clean and legible so I can come in and do some hopefully easier lines. I was thinking about maybe experimenting with like my, I think in this it's called like magnetism settings, so that I can have it kind of clean up the lines for me. The thing is, I find it very frustrating to like start drawing, do my line, and for it to not basically be real time. It feels like lag. I know it's taking the time to like straighten it out for me, but it's kind of just like that that mental disconnect. Like you're used to pen and paper, and you write, and it's just immediate. This, if you do those smoothing settings and those magnetism settings where, okay, the smoothing straightens out the line, the magnetism, will trace a line on another layer if it's there, or stick to it if you're like trying to follow the lines. And like that's nice because it's kind of doing the work for you, but at the same time it's just frustrating for it to not be exactly what I'm doing. Because, like, when I want that, that's what I want. But most of the time, I don't want that. And it's just frustrating. Maybe I can do a setting where I can switch. So it's like my full freehand mode and then, like, a smoothed up mode. Hold on. Better not be a goddamn mosquito bite. I think it is. Well, it's kind of small, actually. I got them bite on my leggy. I don't know what from. Kind of small for a mosquito. Okay. Oh, yeah. Something I forgot to mention. I'm going through like the inventory of stuff I have to sell. What reminded me is I have something like right here. Um, this thing is not particularly good, but like I gotta get rid of this shit because I'd rather have the money. Um, and the way I would work is I would only have like part of my stuff up on eBay because I generally like will ship from my home, and it's kind of like I don't really want people to think I've got several of things. I usually just have a couple of things up, because somebody sees, oh, ships from his home, he's got the stuff there. I was a little paranoid about it. Um, anyway, I just saw this thing over here while I'm looking. I'm just kind of like, what the fuck was I thinking? Nobody's gonna want this piece of shit. It's like an oversized traditional, but like new wave knife. This is from QSP. I think this might be the Hedgehog or something. Man, if I had to guess, it was probably like original retail was probably like $80, and I probably paid like 30, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll make like $20 after all the fees and stuff. And then like now it's just been sitting here because I probably had it up. It didn't sell, so I swapped it for something else. And I just haven't put it back up because it's like I swapped it for something else. Maybe that didn't sell, so I swapped that for something else. And then that didn't sell, and then I swapped that for something else. And maybe that sold, so I put like one of the other things that I think will maybe move better. It's like, Jesus Christ, I made a bad decision. What the fuck? Um, anyway, that's life. You do those sometimes. Anyway, I should be good to draw again, not feeling the hand crampies anymore. Re-looking at this, it's not as bad as it looked like 5 minutes ago. It's just like a little sausage fingery. There we go. Maybe what I should do is we'll get this sketch as good as we can get it. We'll maybe do our own line art real quick, and that'll probably be all the time I have for today. Maybe I should go and look up like what settings people use, and then I should I should really set these. I'm finally Finally ready to set these, and we may not be drawing much in the future. God, I'm a fucking moron. Every time. Okay. What does my phone want? Better not be telling me I'm live. Okay. Scoop that out. Ugh. This is like turning out worse and worse. Looks like a fucking cashew. Dude, I can't do it. Hold on. Let's just start over. What if we start with the outside? See, this is where I'm thinking like those line things would help, because this is a relatively straight staff, you know, and that'd be kind of nice. Okay. All right. Thank God there's no feet to draw, dude. That was like the worst part of my Ishtola. What if I turn this into Ishtola? I was thinking about giving her black hair, blue eyes. You know, you know how it is, the perfect woman. It's kind of crazy that like the one thing I can fucking draw is like cloth. Like what the fuck? I think it's shading. I'm kind of good at like that dimensional shading. I don't know, it's just like cool to me and I can kind of do it. I think that's what we're at. I'm not going to pretend like I'm great or anything, but like as far as I go, I'm not too bad. I think we may have to tuck her in a little bit, you know? I mean, I want them wide birthing hips, but like not that wide, you know? Unless she's got one of them packs on or something. What if I give her blue hair? Should I give her blue hair? Nice little sky blue for the boys, perhaps? I actually really enjoy drawing like the backgrounds too. Like the I don't know how to explain or express it. I was about to call it explain. I was combining them. I don't know how to explain it, which sounds like I'm making a racist caricature. And it kind of still technically works. You know, usually when I fucking combine words, it doesn't technically work, but it kind of technically works. Jesus. All right. Anyway, um, I really enjoy making backgrounds and kind of just painting scenery. It's weird. I like drawing like anime women and women in general. I don't know. I feel like drawing the males has been kind of harder for me. Um, I feel like I enjoy it, but it's like a step down from drawing women and like scenery. I don't know, there's something enjoyable about the scenery where I feel like I can take more liberty and like be more expressive, but also it kind of ends up like feeling less clean and like I said more expressive, but like therefore kind of like detached from reality. Like it doesn't give off the right vibe quite. It gives off more surreal vibes usually, I feel. And that's not necessarily what I want. It's just I guess what I end up creating. And like I said, it's not like bad or anything. It just doesn't feel quite like what I'm. It's like in my head, it doesn't look how it ends up coming out, but like it's not that I'm necessarily mad about how it comes out. I just really enjoy the process of it turning into that. Like it just kind of feels like I'm doing what I do. Whereas sometimes with this, I feel like I'm solving a problem. Generally, when I created myself, I guess that's because I'm like learning here. But like, if I'm drawing like scenery, it's kind of like, well, who actually gives a fuck? Think we gotta come in a little bit on like the body here. If I do it here, this might actually be a little better. Actually, hold on. This might be the way to do it. We can probably get away with leaving that and like just scoot it in a little. And then squeeze it down and scoot it in. It's feeling a little too small now, isn't it? Hold on. Hold on. Where's my button? There we go. Okay. Deselect. Let's clean this up a sec. This is that part where I feel like completely unsatisfied with how far I've gone on the sketch. The thing is, I think I've just messed it up. I can't tell. I feel like it was probably fine, but like the proportions seem super off. They still do. Um, right? Everything feels super wrong, and a big part of that is probably that there's just no dimension. So it really feels like it's off. And that's because there's nothing to help you perceive what you should be seeing here. Right? There's no angles to dissect. It's just kind of feeling off. So you kind of end up looking at this, and it kind of looks like, hold on, what if I stand up? Will it pull it off? No. Okay. Um, it kind of looks like it's cheaposing, right? Just kind of like this, arms out, and like floating there, right? It's not grounded. I know I still got to draw the staff. I don't think that's going to help. I think what it needs is the shading and the coloring to really, give it some, I guess, feeling of existence. Looking at the image. Hold on, I can bring it up. Head's lit, perfect. This is lit, perfect. This is lit, pretty good. This is lit, pretty good. But it's all solid lighting, and if you look at the ground, it's all leaves. Now I get it, right? Who's paying that close of attention to draw leaf shadows? I think I might. I also think it doesn't quite add up. I think this should maybe be less visible, or if it's this visible, this should have more light. Um, I don't know. I feel like maybe there shouldn't be light here. So like what it's telling me is there's light coming from here. You can see this ray here, I feel like, and it's coming from this way. So it feels like it's coming down from here. Um, right? Because the sun or whatever the fuck star is supposed to be like there. So this all makes sense. This should be dark here, and this can be light here. That's fine. But this would need more light, like wrap around. But it's overall like pretty solid. I mean, it's an animation, right? And I imagine, I don't want to say a cheap animation because it was done quite well. Could be AI. I don't fucking know. But it's done well enough that it's like on watching it, you wouldn't really question this. We're only like looking at it with a more perceptive eye because it's basically a freeze frame from it, right? um, this is the cover for this, by the way. I've been putting it on it when I'm not using it because it honestly just really helps to keep it from getting too dusty. And I have found that these get really hard to clean when they get dusty. Um, it's just a huge pain in the ass. Anything with knobs, so like this thing is getting problematic. Cause like part of the problem is I have them like generally set to like things I want them set at. And so like if you fuck around and move it, suddenly your timing's all wrong, right? Your settings are all fucked up, and then you'll have to redo them. Okay. Do. Kind of looks like the Riddler staff, doesn't it? So this is just kind of floating there. I know it's more of an extreme angle and not like a more sharp heart, but I kind of like it. I think it's supposed to be like some sort of stone heart thing. I don't know. I don't 100% remember the music video. I don't know why, but when I see the like closed eye thing, I just think of Sai from Naruto. Okay, I'm feeling like the face might be a little small here. Gonna do normie person ears. They're a bit big, to be honest. This hair reminds me of in anime there was a very it's honestly it kind of extends past that like what's her name from Street Fighter? Chun-Li. It reminds me of like the stereotypical Chinese fighter woman hair. Hold on, I'm gonna Google that. I want to know if I'm crazy because I feel like that was just always the way it was portrayed. I'm gonna Google typical Chinese fight fighter woman. I want to know what they show. Let's go to images. I fucking knew it. It's like those little hair ornaments in the buns, or they just straight up have buns. I fucking knew it every time. And it is, of course, showing a bunch of Chun Li. Yeah, well, I feel like for me, I thought of Chun Li. Her name's Chun Li, right? Jesus Christ, am I about to get canceled? It's fine. It is Chun Li. Okay. And of course, she's Chinese. Wait, Chun Li is a real person as well. What? No. Okay. Oh my God. All right. So on Google, the Wikipedia page should be clear to show this. Here's the thing. It's sketchy showing pictures of Chun Li. You know what people are putting on the Googles, and the internet. So the apparently the preview image is I'm gonna assume one of the actors for her But I was like, wait, what? Is this a real fucking person? Because usually, if it's a cartoon character or a movie character, it'll show like the title, like image of the movie, like a movie poster. It will show a picture of the character or of like let's say it's an anime character. It'll show a picture of the character, but it's like the cover of the anime they're from usually, if they even have their own Wikipedia page. Because a lot of them don't. I imagine. You know what? Let's search. I imagine Ichigo Kurosaki. Yep, he does have his own fictional character, right? But there's a lot of them where they just have like a line or like a paragraph in like a character section for an anime because the anime's just not big enough. Bleach is a big enough anime that it has its own thing. I would have done the same with Naruto to search this now because I feel like he probably does have his own page if you search Naruto Uzumaki. But you could also, in theory, Naruto, first off, you can search Naruto, you might not get the character, you might get the anime or the manga itself's page. And also, Naruto Maki, I believe, is a fish roll. I think that's what he's named after, right? Hold on. It's been a long time since I had any Naruto lore. If I just search Naruto food, Naruto Maki, there it is. It's the little thing that he's got on his stomach. It's the swirled fish. Usually put in ramen. We got it? Is it on screen? There you go. It's a little white thing with the pink swirl. You're not going to believe this. It tastes like fish. It is fish. Um, thinking about it, these buns and these eyes actually are very anime typical Chinese. You know what I mean? I don't know how to feel about it actually. What is happening? It kind of does feel very much like stereotype drawing here. Hey, look, I'm copying something, and it just so happens that I'm not good enough to maybe make it not look as offensive, I guess. Dude, come on, man. I could just copy paste the other one. Okay, save as for now. I'm not sold on drawing a ribbon. I think what I might do is we can just draw the ribbon later because it's going over things. So it won't really be a huge deal if I don't have like an outline of it. I did kind of want to draw real eyes though. But that's also again something I can just change, so I'm not too concerned with that. Jesus Christ. I feel like it's not like rounded and tall enough as it was, but like I'm kind of just messing it up more now. Okay. Should I try? Feel like Maybe, I don't know. I feel like it needs to slim up still, but like I can't just keep making it smaller and smaller. I feel like the body's somehow too wide, but like it's not going to be wide enough if I keep going. Maybe, okay, maybe it's like too barrel shaped. Maybe that's it. Hold on. What if I like start from here and like come out and then back in? And like come out and then like kind of go back in? Does that help? Okay, that definitely helped the body, but now I think the arms are kind of weird feeling, particularly this one. Okay. Okay. All right. Maybe clean this arm up just a smidgen. We can. I think I just drew exactly the same thing that was right there. There we go. All right. I think we're gonna try and do a LART. We'll see how it comes along. So let's increase to maybe like, oh, well, I guess we're on that. Let's do 4. And let's just see if we can clean this up. I'm not quite feeling right here. So actually, before we do this, I think it would be best if I try and lift the head and neck out. Okay, select, deselect. What if I just keep going? Okay, that didn't work. Okay. All right. So now we're going to hopefully send it an alert. So I'm going to try and do like smooth, clean lines. That didn't work. Let's look into our stabilize. Snap 2 assistance, stabilizer, brush smoothing. Basic. What does basic do for us? No. Snap 2 assistance. Didn't help. Weighted. Smooth pressure. So let's see what happens. Okay. Hmm. I've noticed that a lot of artists use like very heavy snapping when I watch like their how-to videos. Like they'll do the line and then it will basically appear instead of it like coming out as they're doing it the way I've been doing it. Like I said, I find that very frustrating personally. Yeah, this isn't it. Um Hold on. Feel like it's not working right now. Hold on. Okay. First off, let's reduce that before I forget. Stabilizer. Delay 0 pixels. Sample count 18. So it was at 18. So what happens if I do this? I just don't feel like this is an improvement, really. You know? Let's go back down to 18, was it? Okay. Okay, hold on. What if I just maximize it? Okay, this is what I usually see from people. You see what I'm saying? So basically they'll do like that and it'll like get them their line, but it's usually a little closer to what they draw, so more like that maybe. I mean, that's nice and smooth, but it just doesn't fit. I'm wasting so much fucking hard drive space on this. I gotta hurry. I gotta stop. Okay. Do 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 do. Da 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 da. Did I already get that line? I sure did. Hold on. Come on. See, if I were to try and do that with a bunch of whatchamacallit on it, the smoothing, it would just fucking like make it straight from like here to there. You just lose so much freedom with it. Like, yeah, your lines can turn out straighter, but there's a pretty heavy cost to it. Plus, it's not really actually, I mean, it would probably ultimately get me a better fucking feel, but it's not really getting me the same level of skill. It's just giving me practice using something that smooths for me. So, like, I'd probably have a harder time um, drawing, like, outside of a digital medium if I did things that way, as opposed to actually trying to fucking learn how to draw. We can fix that up later. It's fine. I think this belt thing might be a little too thick. I hate doing that because it technically counts it as like an action and therefore records that stroke right there. But it's just kind of something I have to do on occasion. I know I reset my brush back to the same thing. It kind of feels like there's still something here though. Am I crazy? Okay. Jesus, that thumb is all type of fucked up, dog. Okay. Right. Have to zoom out a little for this. Come out a little for that. Most excellent. Okay. I think we gotta take a second. These lines are getting wobbly. planet hot in here. Like living in a fucking sunroom. Okay. Keep it as clean as we can. Don't know if I can do a line this long, but we'll treat it like it's Coke. Ooh, that one was bad. Where do we start from here instead? It's a little better. Feel like I want this to feel a little more like a whimsical wooden staff than it does. Kind of felt a little like manufactured right there. Like I said, I want it to feel like whimsical, like somebody found the perfect branch and made this rather than like machined it out of a log through a template. All right. Okay. Bit better. I'll save as pingy, pingy, pingy. Okay. What do we think? Feel like not terrible. I feel like maybe the staff could be replaced, but also I don't know if I really want to. You know, I guess in theory, I could just put, for a straight line, I could just put a fucking ruler on the screen. I wonder if they make like felt rulers. Like, so one side is felt and the other side is maybe like wood, so it's relatively soft. So that I can like put it here and do. I have felt. Do I have a ruler? I don't think I have a ruler. I used to have a wooden ruler. I don't know what I did with it. Apparently I have dice in this drawer. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. It's little flowers in this one. Um, And this one has little, like, skulls, but these are suspended. So, like, the skull always faces a certain direction, unless you shake it and then kind of fucks around. I think it will still go back to, like, always facing up. It's pretty cool. I don't know why I wasted, I think, like, 20 bucks on them. Are these... Does this container have something in it? No. This is like an old Luminox case or something. Okay. I'm gonna put something in this cool container. Put that over there. Sorry, we got distracted. Alright. Okay. Things like the ribbon, the earrings, we can redo the eyes, right? Those can all be like a detail layer. The general like shape and flow, are we okay with this? I feel like yes. I think it's maybe a bit long in the torso and then like short in the legs, but I don't think it's necessarily actually short in the legs. I just feel like it gives that impression because probably like, let's say this is your whole leg. I would say like just above the ankle down is not visible here. I feel like that's the kind of dress this would be. So it kind of makes it look like you don't see any of that. So you kind of just instinctively feel like, oh, that's the end of her foot there. So now you're just kind of looking like you got no shins. You're like Hank Hill's dad, Cotton, you know? That's the vibe it gives off. And that's because, for one, there's no background, there's no reference, and there's no legs. So it feels very much like she's stubby, I think. I think maybe the arms could be a little longer, but also they can't, proportionally speaking. Maybe I make her left arm, so this one here, maybe I make it a little bigger. That's what I'm thinking. I should be able to just like maybe drag it and like angle it upwards just a smidge. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with this, actually. Just saved like 8 pictures for that, probably. Let's maybe make this more of a confident line than it is. Feel like that should help. And then, no, this is not the perfect hand, but it's okay for now. We can definitely fix it once we're done readjusting. So let's angle it just a smidgen. And maybe, you know what? Can I like, I can't. Let's go back a sec. Okay. Let's, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's selected. I'm just drawing in here. Let's redo the hand. Let's redo the hand. Zoom in. Okay. Do. You know what this image kind of reminds me of? It's like a happy version of that scene in Freerin when she's about to fucking annihilate Freerin. Um, so like, oh man, uh-oh. All right, this is a spoiler if you haven't seen, I guess, the first season. There's a scene where Freerin has to fight. Basically, it's not a clone, but it's like a doppelganger of herself. And she's like, yeah, I can't really beat myself. I'm too fucking good. Um, and there's like this scene where she's just kind of like come atting me vibes, and like I don't even know if it's her or her clone at this point, but or her doppelganger. But like there's just so much fucking aura. Like she'll just be standing there, like almost not menacingly. Obviously, she's not like smiling like this. It's more serious. And then she'll just like cast the most powerful fucking spell imaginable. It just kind of gives me like that mystical, magical vibe. I think that's where I'm going with it. Like it feels like she's about to cast something magnificent here. I feel like this fucking finger is kind of messed up. We're doing our best here, alright? Select, deselect. We maybe do some work on this sleeve. I feel like I need it to start slimmer and somehow get wider, but I don't really know how to do that without just making it too wide. Might help if I have like a better angle for this. So if I like kind of come in maybe. What if I, okay, hold on. If I just kind of come at it, you know? Okay. That just feels so fucking like, it feels like a hot dog, you know? It's like so uniform. I need it to not be this uniform. Okay. How do I fucking do this, dude? What if I change the angle of approach here? Okay. I was actually just about to say, oh, we can actually do a little bit of color today. No, I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're going to get there at this point. It's not right. I don't know how to fix it, no matter what I do. I think the problem is I didn't want the body to feel as barrel shaped, and so now it doesn't. But the problem is the original was quite barrel shaped, and so it's easier to taper from that. But I have to like start a little earlier, and therefore it just kind of remains wide the whole way. You don't get the taper properly. Plus, there's also no shading, and there's no shading. There's no whatchamacallit. I feel like this hand maybe needs to be a little bigger. Looking at things. Okay. I think I have the solution. It's not ideal, but I don't know what else to do. So we're going to go for it. Okay. It's just like too bulbous. I don't like it. It's not the solution. It looked better before all this. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do here. Okay. Feel like we generally can't mess with this. I think what I can maybe do is this. We slide this down just a smidge. And just try to make the arm feel longer. That might help. Feel like we're losing quality here. I mean, it wasn't good quality to begin with, but it's like getting worse. Think that might be as good as we're gonna get. What do we feel? Do a check. It's not as whimsical feeling as I was hoping I could make it. I feel like I want the bottom sleeve to feel a little bigger there. I just don't think I can do it without it feeling very bulbous again. Um, it's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't really know that I can do it. I think the shape would be helped a lot by the coloring and shading, but that's a ways off, and it's one of those things where we won't know for sure until we get there. So if we don't get there, we're not really gonna know. I know that's a stupid way to put it, but it's that's it. That's all there is. Um, so I think we'll set up a base color thing. Thankfully, I think this is something we can pseudo change by just drawing over it later. So that's why I think I'm just gonna move on for a little bit. Okay, we got probably about 3 to 4 colors there. It is what it is. It's fine. We're gonna go for it. Put our first bit of color in. This honestly might be the only thing we have time for at this point. All right. It's gonna look like ass until we start getting shading in, so we'll just take it as we are, if you will. I feel like it's so much easier to draw on this than it is that other tablet. I don't know why. I guess it's because I generally sit on this. Like sometimes the other things like way easier because I can just flip it, but like for the most part, it's just more comfortable. I've had to lock the it's like a what was it? Like a Galaxy S10 or something. I've had to lock that so that it doesn't flip around. Like if I were to place it flat like this without the lock, it would actually go. So like I like to have it like this. But if I were to use the other tablet, if I place it down flat like this, it would change it so that it's that way. It sucks. You really have to lock it. It's so stupid. Okay, there's a couple different colors here, but that's fine because that's all about the shading. You know, it's interesting. I feel like the shading on this one is actually pretty solid. I mean, I know there's like no leaf pattern in the shade through or the come down there. And there probably should be, but like overall, I feel like it's pretty solid. I honestly would be pretty comfortable just kind of like sending it on that. Like I wouldn't even necessarily need um a shade layer. I could just copy whatever they've got down. It would be smart though to just do a shade layer anyway. I gotta remember to come in and do the fingernails. color are we working with over here? Not too bad. Didn't realize I kind of fucked up there, so let's get that going. For this one, I'm pretty unsure of what I want to do. I like the lines on theirs. I would like to match it, but I'm just not confident I can get clean enough lines for it to like work properly. It's gonna look all wonky and shit. It's just the way I end up doing things. I'm just not that good, you know? So it's gonna very negatively impact. Well, they didn't draw a thumbnail on this one. It's gonna very negatively impact the overall quality. I feel like this is more orange than I thought it looked. That's fine. You know, in theory, the ear should be fine in this as well. You know what? I actually don't need to do the eyebrows yet because I can just draw over them because the lart is still going to show. So it'll be easier and overall, I think, less work. I just ignore them for now. I should be able to just hit it with that and that. My bad. It's weird to me how much more orange this looks than I thought I was about to, but that's fine. It's the contrast that like really tricks the eye into thinking something's like brighter or lighter, huh? It's cool. That's color theory, I guess. I don't fucking know. If I knew, I probably would be a lot better than I am. Yeah, let's face it, nah. I feel like you can know theories and still suck ass, so even if I knew, it wouldn't matter. And I am an ass sucker, I can tell you that. Okay. All right. Think we might call it on that for today. Tomorrow we should get the rest of the color in and probably a decent amount of the shading. It's honestly a pretty simple image when you look at it, except not at all. But like compared to, honestly, the background seems more complicated than her. But she is her, and we're gonna draw her. Um. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get off for the morning. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey of art. Hopefully, it's not gonna end soon. Hopefully, I still have time for it. Even if we can't stream it, or you know, hopefully, I can continue to stream it. We'll see. But thank you so much for being here. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you again sometime soon. Until then, bye.